Hi guys, it's Holistic Vegan, and today I wanted to talk to you about some controversial findings from the Royal Medical Academy of Belgium about the vegan diet for children. Now, this seems to be causing a bit of a media frenzy, and there have been some very alarmist articles in the Telegraph, the New York Times, so I just wanted to address the subject and actually present a translation of the actual documents as well, because it is in French, and I think it's nice to be able to make your own opinion based on the document when you read it for yourself, as opposed to having to go on what someone else has to say about it. For those of you that don't know me, I am a fluent French speaker and a former professional translator, so I've taken it upon myself to read the original documents. There is the full document, which is 9 pages long. There's a slightly shorter version, which is 4 pages, and then there is a 1-page press release. I have read them all in order to draw my own opinions, and I have translated the 1-page press release so that you can read it for yourself, as opposed to relying on the possibly a little bit misleading version portrayed by the mainstream media. Now, I will put the links to the original documents down below so that you can look them up for yourself if you are a French speaker. If you're not, then don't worry about it. I've done my best to present the findings for you. I'll be honest, their findings are really not what you would expect based on the scientific data available in this day and age, and to be honest, I was very, very disappointed in what they've chosen to say about this. You should also note that one of the experts chosen for the commission, Jacques Rigaud, is a consultant for Nestlé in respect of their daily dairy-based infant milk product Prenan, and he's been involved in a lot of studies to do with that. I do think it was misguided to have him as part of this commission, as he clearly has a dog in the fight. That was just from a quick Google search this morning that I found that about him. My reason for saying this is that the article itself appears to be very biased in nature. They seem to be dismissing a lot of good science and only presenting some very poor and not particularly relevant studies to try and prove their point. They're really coming across as being very biased about the whole subject, and the document itself, well, all 3 documents are worded in what I consider to be an excessively emotive tone. They're really appealing to people's emotions here. Now, this is a scientific document. This should be completely subjective. This should be scientific. This shouldn't be, oh, boo-hoo, we're going to make you feel this. This should be, here are the facts and here are our findings. And that doesn't appear to be what they've presented. You should note that they claim in the full document that there is no evidence proving that a vegetarian or vegan diet reduces the risk of obesity, cancer, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, or type 2 diabetes, and therefore they've chosen to discount any evidence that suggests it's so. It's also rather chilling that the document seems to be suggesting that parents can't be trusted to choose a healthy diet for their children. And if they do insist on a vegan diet, then they should be supervised by a medical practitioner or a doctor. In other words, you're too stupid to feed your children properly. So I'm just going to read the very quick translation I made this morning of the 1-page press release, and I will read it out to you so that you can hear exactly what has been said in the document as opposed to a journalist's interpretation of what's been said, and you can draw your own opinions. So the document is titled Veganism Contraindicated for Children, Pregnant Women and Nursing Mothers. Starting out strong. Brussels, 14th of May 2019. More and more parents are forcing their infants to follow a vegan diet. Now, forcing is an extremely emotive word. Children are fed, especially infants who can't make their own choices, are fed and taken care of by their parents. They're not forced to eat something, so they're starting out in a very misleading tone already. And this is contraindicated. This is the opinion of the Belgian Royal Academy of Medicine, ARMB. This restrictive diet gives rise to inevitable deficiencies and requires the permanent medical supervision of children to avoid nutritional deficiencies and growth delays, which are often irreversible. Wow. Okay, guys, don't mince your words. Again, they've started out very, very strong here. And it's also very misleading because those are very sweeping statements and they're not necessarily true in all cases. In fact, in the majority of cases, they're not true. They could be true if a vegan diet isn't done correctly, but very misleading to portray this as the absolute truth. Because of the number of parents who refuse to allow their children to be given a balanced and varied diet, wait a minute, that can happen on any diet. A vegan diet can be and should be balanced and varied. It's extremely varied and it's extremely healthy. So yet again, right from the get-go in the second paragraph, they're making assumptions about the vegan diet not being varied. But they could equally be talking about any sort of diet here. If a diet isn't balanced and varied for anybody at any stage of life, especially children, it's not going to be suitable. So again, this is a very misleading way to lead into the argument. They're sort of leading the reader in, making them assume that a vegan diet is not balanced or varied, where that simply isn't the case. So because of this, the Minister for Children's Rights, I believe délégué translates as minister. I could be wrong, it could be commissioner. Apologise if I got that one wrong. So his name is Bernard de Vaux, and he has asked the ARMB to provide our opinion on veganism. So, quote, "Healthcare staff are often confronted with an ethical problem. We let parents decide to an extent. How kind of you. We try to explain to parents the risks that such a diet poses." Risks? But what can we do when we feel their opinion poses a threat to the well-being of their child? Asks Professor Georges Casimir, paediatrician at Hudorf, which is an acronym for Queen Fabiola Children's University Hospital, and consultant on the commission chosen by the ARMB. It's estimated that 3% of children in Belgium are affected by this diet. Affected? Pure veganism is a restrictive diet, no it isn't, that excludes all animal products. Yes it does. Essential vitamins such as D and B12, calcium, micronutrients and other nutrients vital for growth and development are missing from this diet. Well, that's a big fat lie, there's loads of calcium for starters. Quote, "We're talking about delays in growth, both weight and height, psychomotor retardation," now that means development delays in the ability to move, motor skills, and also brain development, cognitive skills. So that's a pretty dangerous statement to make. That's going to be frightening to a lot of people and a lot of parents. Malnutrition, severe anemia, explains Isabelle Thiebaud, paediatric dietitian who collaborated with the Commission in writing the findings or opinion of the ARMB. Certain growth must happen at specific stages in a child's life, and if that doesn't take place, it's irreversible. Okay, something we agree on. End quote. An excess of potassium and fibre is also observed where vegetables form an excessive part of your diet. In the most serious cases, hospitalisation is inevitable. Quote, "There are some very serious cases," advises Sylviane Podlugnaï. How many cases, Sylviane? You haven't told us that. She is the head dietitian at Hudorf. "Fortunately, they are limited thanks to the early intervention of paediatricians." So what you're saying is there really aren't very many at all? Okay, what's your point? The Belgian Royal Academy of Medicine advises against subjecting your child to such a diet. Subjecting! If this is the case, however, it's imperative that this is done under medical supervision. Medical supervision? With regular blood tests and supplementation. Quote, "When you are a child," Professor Georges Casimir reminds us, "your body is producing a large number of brain cells. This means that you have a greater need for proteins and essential fatty acids. The body cannot produce these, so you must get them from animal protein. Veganism is not indicated for children, pregnant women, or nursing mothers." I must remember to tell all those people who've been vegan from birth that they're actually dead and they're just deluded if they think they're still alive. The final paragraph, this is my favourite one. Quote, "We're here to support parents, not judge," says Isabelle Thiebaud. Yeah, it really comes across that way, doesn't it? Oh no, we're not Jing, we're just here to help you because you're so stupid. She goes on, dietitians absolutely must work in collaboration with paediatricians. Okay, fair point. The goal is to avoid deficiencies or nip them in the bud. Quote, we would also like to highlight the fact that it is not normal to have to medically treat a child born in good health, concludes Professor Georges Casimir. George, what the hell do you mean by that? That doesn't make any sense. It's not normal to have to medically treat a child born in good health. So you're saying if you're born in good health as a child, you should never need any medical treatment whatsoever. What on earth are you trying to say? That doesn't even make sense. That is the sum total of their findings. It's very alarmist and also flies in the face of the accepted science in respect of the vegan diet, and certainly pretty much every other country in the world, but they want to be different for some reason, and it leads me to ask why. Could it be linked to agriculture in their country, that they don't want people omitting animal products? Could it be that certain participants on the commission have vested interests, vested corporate interests? Could it be that they're being paid by, say, Nestle to have an opinion about dairy? It's hard to say, but certainly here in the UK, the NHS, that's our National Health Service, has something to say about veganism, which is rather different. It says, with good planning and an understanding of what makes up a healthy, balanced vegan diet, you can get all the nutrients your body needs. They go on to say about vegans who are pregnant or breastfeeding that during pregnancy and when breastfeeding, women who follow a vegan diet need to make sure they get enough vitamins and minerals for their child to develop healthily. Fair enough. They've got some resources that you can click on and go and read about that. They also say if you're bringing up your baby or child on a vegan diet, you need to ensure that they get a wide variety of foods to provide the energy and vitamins they need for growth. So perfect, that's really, really good advice. That's all they needed to say, really, not you're too stupid to do it without us. The World Health Organization has a similar view on the subject. As long as you make sure you're getting all the right nutrients and eating a balanced diet, then a vegan or whole foods plant-based diet is completely acceptable for any stage of life. So basically at any age. I think in conclusion, what I would like to say is that it doesn't matter what diet you follow, you should make sure that you're getting the right nutrients, that you're getting the right vitamins and minerals, you're drinking enough water, and that you're healthy. And that can be achieved on a vegan diet. Absolutely, very easily. It's something that I've been doing for a number of years. I've been vegan for 6.5 years now, and I'm not dead. Definitely not dead. I'm not deficient and I'm not ill. I'm in perfect health. So I'm rather concerned that this is scaremongering going on here, but I do think that people will see through it. But it will be interesting to see what happens in Belgium, whether the Belgian people decide to stand up and tell them where to go with this. Because if they pass a law that says that it's illegal, against the law, to raise your child on a vegan diet, then that's quite a big issue. I mean, what right does the government have to say that you're incapable of raising your child on a healthy diet that's been proven time and time again to provide all the nutrients that your body needs? I think it's time for the people of Belgium to decide what they want the law to say about this, because it's completely unfounded to say that it's unhealthy for infants, for small children. I mean, in their report, they go as far as to say in the full report that it's not even suitable for adolescents. That's so false. It's such a falsehood. People really need to stand up against this sort of propaganda. I'd like to know what you think about this. Have you read the article? Have you read the actual documents that have been released? What did you think? What do you think about the Royal Medical Academy of Belgium's findings? Are they right? Are they wrong? Should the government be intervening and telling people they're too stupid to feed their own children? Let me know with a comment down below. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos, lots of recipes, spirituality and holistic wellness. And I'll see you soon in the video.